welcome to this week's show. Today I'm making a broad bean dish. Now if you're not a fan of beans you might not like this, and I think the interesting thing with beans is a lot of people not so much don't like the flavour of beans, but they don't like the mouthfeel, the texture of the beans. I know my sister's one of those. So we do disguise it a little bit because we are going to mash the beans and we're going to add some cream and some lemon juice to it. But if you are not a fan of beans, then you might want to wait and get next week's show. Okay, we're also going to serve this up today with some Parmesan crisps, which are just beautiful. They're just divine. Very quick and easy to make, and literally a 100% protein biscuit, which is great for those of you on low carb diets. But the other part of it too is some lovely sauteed mushrooms with some other ingredients, including garlic and that in there. This is a nice little snack. You know, if you've got people coming around and you want something a little different to have with drinks, this is great. It's nice to have as a little side dish if you've got a whole bunch of sort of a buffet type meal. And it's also nice to have perhaps in a very small quantity as an entree. So it's got a lot of versatility, and I just particularly liked it because of the combination of ingredients. They really are quite lovely. The other thing is that you can either use canned broad beans or you can use fresh ones, and if they're in season and they're good quality, then fresh will always be better. Unfortunately, I've decided to make this dish when they're not in season, and I can't get hold of them where I live right now, which is in the country anyway. So I have used canned ones. Always think about this with canned ones, and I'll probably reiterate this several times. Canned beans are fantastic. They are usually canned when they're fresh. The quality is always good and the flavour is always fantastic. So don't be misled into believing they must be fresh all of the time, because canned can in fact be very, very good. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go and have a look at the ingredients we need for this recipe. Alright, to make this recipe you'll need broad beans. Now you can either purchase those fresh and you can cook them yourself and shell them, or you can buy them in a can if they're not in season or you can't get them where you live. You'll need some lemon juice, some pouring cream, a little bit of olive oil, some button mushrooms that are either thinly sliced or chopped into wedges, a clove of garlic that's finely chopped, flat leaf parsley, and 1 quantity of Parmesan crisps. Now to make the Parmesan crisps, which I've already got pre-made as you can see, you can go to the website blackbookcooking.com and you'll be able to see a video on how to make those individually. Let's get started. Okay, so the next thing to do is to peel the broad beans, and that's a fairly simple thing to do. Literally just pinch the skin away, throw that away, and put the beans into another bowl. Once they've been cooked to the required amount, this is a fairly easy task, albeit tedious. Okay, so now that our beans are peeled, we're going to mash them, and the easiest way to do that is just with a vegetable masher. If you find they're just a little bit too difficult to mash, you might want to reheat them a little bit. That generally softens them and it makes it a little easier to do. These are working fine. Canned beans generally are very, very easy to work with. The other thing that I like about canned beans is the convenience of them. If you live in a remote area, although I'm not completely remote, but I am certainly not in a city, in a major city, sometimes we can't always get everything that we want, and fresh beans and fresh produce sometimes is a little difficult. So canned beans I find really, really great for that very reason. The other thing that's good about them is that they are processed literally as soon as they're picked. So a bit like frozen vegetables, they're generally very, very high in nutrients still, and they really are a wonderful addition to the diet. Okay, so that's about as much as we're going to get out of that. Just use a fork to get rid of it. You can use a fork to do the mashing if you like, if you find that a masher doesn't work for you. I find it's very, very easy. Okay, what we're going to do now is add a few extra ingredients to these just to give them a little bit of extra flavour. And we're going to do a little bit of lemon juice. And again, a taste thing. You know, I've put an amount in the recipe, but please, you know, add your own. If you like that lemony tang, then add a little bit more. If you don't particularly like it, then do it less. It's also quite nice with lime juice, so any citrus juice really, other than perhaps orange, will work well. We're going to add a little bit of pouring cream, or actually I'm using thickened cream today, and again just to improve that texture. Make it more like a pâté, I suppose, or even a dip. And of course season to taste. A little bit of pepper and a good flaked salt will work very, very well. Okay, now that's done, so let's move to the cooktop and cook our mushrooms and garlic. Okay, so what I've got now is my non-stick pan heating to high. I've added a little bit of olive oil, and I'm actually using a really good quality olive oil. This is Bunabanu olive oil. It comes from an olive grove in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales in Australia. It is just the most divine, and they do in fact post all over the world. So if you're interested in trying some, I urge you to go to their website on bunabanuolives.com.au, get that right, or you will be able to buy it shortly from the website as well. Okay, so that's nice and hot now. What we're going to do is we're going to saute here our mushrooms and our garlic, but I'm going to add the mushrooms first because if I put the garlic in there, it will literally burn. So just toss those in and move them around. Turn that temperature down. Let the temperature drop just that little bit so that it's not too hot for our garlic. Toss the garlic through there as well for some flavour. We can turn that right off now. Sprinkle of salt and pepper. And just toss into there some fresh parsley. The water in that parsley, that's what all that popping is about. Okay, that's how quick they are, they're done. So let's now go and serve up. Alright, so to serve up we're going to place some of our beans in the centre of the plate. Now you might do this as a large platter for a number of people, or you might do it individually for just one person. That choice is yours. It's a nice snack. It's lovely to have with a glass of wine, but it's also quite a nice little entree as well. Our beans in the centre. We're going to spoon our sauteed mushrooms and garlic on the top. Oops. Tidy up your plate, always good to present. And then we're going to just add some Parmesan crisps on the side to have with it. These are very easy to make and they really do set the entire dish off. So there we go, absolutely delicious. Everybody will love that, of course providing they love beans. And as I said, you can have that just as an entire platter with a number of people dipping into it, or you can serve it up as a small entree. So not bad, eh? I actually quite like that, and I thought you might as well. Anyway, if not, of course, there's always next week, and we'll have another interesting recipe then as well. Thanks so much for your company. Don't forget, all of the base recipes, skills and techniques that we use in all of the shows on Black Book Cooking are available on the website, blackbookcooking.com. Come back, become a member, engage, connect, become friends on Facebook, all of those things. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. I will look forward to seeing you again next time. So happy cooking and enjoy. I'm Victoria Hanson.